We're in contract dispute with the manager at the minute, over at Annesley Bentinck. We want a payment for washing at weekends. And what they've come up with, we're not really satisfied with. At the minute, if underground men do roughly 4,000 tonne, they get between £300 and £350, and we've been offered, well, £10.94. That's it in a nutshell.
Don't change then.
We want a little bit more money than that. We think we're just as important as them underground. But obviously they don't think we are.
Right, okay. I'm going then, alright. Who's come up with your team?
Just us two. Mix.
Try them later, had a few problems at the mine. So, we can't sort out, I don't think, but we'll be we'll see Neil, I'll fetch you out, chap.
Okay, go. Area development. Typical narrows. Is this a note about?
We're making it more awkward than a bloody beer. Plant, getting it pit and getting out it pit at number one, man riding, call outs for fitters. I says, not doing bad.
If you can get me deputy manager at Answer, will you?
I says, we're getting very near Boston Point. They're spoiling for something, and they says...
They are, they're spoiling for a strike or something like that.
They're
So
spoiling.
they can then turn round to you and say, right, we've got industrial relations problems here, we're shutting it, because we want to get shut to capacity. That's what it's all about. I accused them of exactly the same thing yesterday at Thorsby.
I did the only. They wouldn't admit
The
to it.
difference is, I told them at Thorsby yesterday we're going to take them on.
Did you get a message about John Kirby?
Hello. Thanks. Hey up. How you going on? Ah. Causing me some trouble, aren't you? Ah, what happened to the plan? You were going to sort it out for me. Ah. This washing contract. Well, they're unhappy, you know. I've had them up here to see me today. There's some more money on offer then. Make sure it's worthwhile then, or you're going back down and under managing. Already spoke to Steve Pugh, and I've told him that I want him to meet me next week at Annesley over this plant job. Now, you've got opportunity to resolve it tomorrow and save us both some time, so make sure you make a rate offer. In my window there's a ferret on a plaque, and it says on it Bentinck Ferret, and I got that name for going round Bentinck plant, ferreting problems out and causing problems for you. Well, I'm going to resurrect that on Wednesday if this problem's not sorted out. Do what you can for me. All right then, yeah. All right, mate. Yeah. That's it. Cheers, then. Yeah, sorted. There, Brad. He thinks I got him deputy. Hello. He thinks I got him deputy manager's job, you know, and while everybody thinks it's I'm married. But I never said a word to know about it.
British Coal say they don't want the amounts of coal that they're turning now. They want flexible working hours for the simple reason they want to turn more coal at a cheaper cost.
Yes.
Now there's lads here are working flat out. They broke every bloody record there is, not just in the country, in Europe.
Oh, we don't disagree with that. Where's the sense in that a pit that's got hundreds of years' worth of coal being shut? This is a government that's supposed to be looking after Notts miners, remember? They're the swines that's always stood up and still are doing. They'll stand up in Parliament next week and saying we owe the Notts miners. Thatcher's book's out today. I don't know if anybody's going to be daft enough to buy the thing, but there's a paragraph in there that talks about our loyalty to Notts miners. You can forget that because there's no bugger got any loyalty to us. We're going to end up with shit end that stick out of this lot if we're not careful and if we don't stand up and fight for it. Now, when I say we stand up and fight for it, I'm not saying to people I want everybody out on strike. 15 million tonnes of coal stocks in his own pit yard and 34 million tonne at power stations. That's nearly 2 years' worth of coal. But we've got to keep putting as much pressure on, verbal pressure on, as we possibly can to make sure we retain the biggest part of Nottinghamshire that we possibly can. And that's what I'm going to do.
To me, I've got a feeling that they might take a few more in Yorkshire, but I don't think they're going to try for many more in Notts. We'll just have to see.
It's the waiting and seeing that causes all the problems. I mean, you can take it if they stand up front and tell you what the situation's going to be. It's the uncertainty that's killing the bloody industry, and I think it'll kill the lot before privatisation.
You won't be wrong.
I'm pretty sure. It's just the attitude that prevails when they tell you. I mean, the bastards seem to sit there sniggering at you, don't they? You know, as if.
Well, he's told you
I know
today,
when you're locked down.
gas has come on stream and he's got 4 more million tonne of coal equivalent than they thought, and nuclear's got another 2 million, and that's got to come out to us.
It's because them useless leaders that's supposed to be getting markets ain't bothered to get any. And nobody will ever convince me that they've properly attempted to get additional market. They've paid the bog of lip service, and that's about all. If you remember, how bloody Lord Marshall, he come and told us that gas were going to put coal out of existence. And everybody thought he was going to, because he looked like one, he talked like one, and what he was saying sounded like one.
Yeah, that's right.
But he were right.
There's a lot of talk out there that Annesley Bentinck men want to finish, and want to finish at pit. Well, I were the one that dealt with Calverton Colliery. You'll all have heard about it. And I'm going to tell you something that's very important. Irrespective of whether they do want to shut Annesley Bentinck or not, British Coal, you've got to show total opposition to that. And if you don't, for whatever reason it is, whether it's money, or whether it's to save this pit, you'll make the biggest mistake of your life. Because Calverton men eventually only got the money they got because they challenged the closure announcement through review procedure. John Longdon comes to us and tells us there is an intent to close this and this pit, like they did with Calverton. And we tell them at that meeting, all right, we don't agree what you're saying, we didn't agree at Calverton, and we're challenging it through review procedure. Then they start bunging the money in. We not only got the 7 grand, there were a lot of bad incentive pay for at least 9 weeks. We got all that backdated to area bonus. You don't get that with putting your hands up and surrendering. If there's any message goes back to British Coal other than if you come for Annesley, we're fighting you, you're going to lose in your pocket. And I'm saying to you, the other message has got to be clear from me. I want this pit to survive, and I want it to be fought. Yeah, but you're talking about that, but Annesley's still in the stickiest position out of all pits. We know, fair enough, we're making a big profit. In my mind, I don't think that counts at all, I don't, today. Not in this day and age with British Coal.
You're saying Annesley's not bothered and they're going into...
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's the message I'm getting from British Coal.
Yeah.
And I'm putting you on guard about it.
Well,
because...
I mean, you could put it this way then. Annesley's only got a limited lifespan. All right, we're turning two-facers now. If that's the way, and there's half the force want to leave, then let half the force leave. Shut it down to one face. Go on to total graded fuels, and you double the life of your pit.
Lads, I'm going to have to shoot straight off.
Next meeting's 26th of February.
I'm going to be in right
We'll
trouble.
go into that one.
It's my daughter's 21st party, and I said I'd be back for 7:15. I've done a great job.
I'm at my party. 2 sausage on the stick. It's all strange to everybody, you know, down here. Isn't it? No, there's some...
Well, here she is. 21. Not done a day's work yet. She's still at university and school. Hold on a bit, Rosie. Can I just, on behalf of Nicola, because I know she'll be a bit reserved about what she's going to say, even though she is going to say something, say thanks very much for all of you coming.
I think we ought to thank a mum for doing this spread. I think it's beautiful, Mum. But thanks all of you for coming. It makes a great start. I mean, the 21st very important. And I think you agree with that, kid, don't you? Good. Come on then. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nicola. Happy birthday to you.
Ready? Go on then, go.
How's it for the track?
It's marvellous to be back, mate. Absolutely marvellous, yeah. Best feeling in the world.
Joy and happiness, you know, and get back here.
Miners were clocking back on today at the pit they thought had closed. Clipston stopped production last April. More than 400 men were made redundant, with payoffs of up to £25,000. But now a private company, RJB Mining, has licensed the colliery, and 100 of the redundant miners have been rehired.
Well, very few believed it would open when we started. I mean, we're going back 10 months when they first announced they were going to close us, when I first met Richard Budge. And he indicated to us he'd like to buy Clipston, or lease Clipston if he got the chance. And even when we're having the meetings and telling the lads, you know, hang on, you haven't got to finish because Richard Budge wants to come in and take the lease. Very, very few believed us that he was coming. And even at that do we had in October, at the retirement do, you heard them there. They still didn't think it was going to happen. It went through. British Gold found some way of stopping it. But it didn't, it went through. And it was good.
Congratulations.
Oh, great, out to death today. Nearly as good a day as when I first started the colliery 27 years ago.
I think if there's any pit that's closed in the last 2 years that stood a good chance of winning in a review, it's got to be Ollerton and Annesley, and Manton as well. They've told us in there today that this area is in the region of profits of £24 million. Ollerton, Annesley, Benting and Manton have made 15 million of that profit. So what they've done by closing those pits, if they do announce the actual closure tomorrow, is wiped certainly more than half of the profit that this area has generated. Now, I've accused Longdon, and I honestly believe it now, that it's insider trading. It's him getting this industry ready for privatisation for a bid for themselves. They've wiped 15 million, more than half of the profits for Nottinghamshire out at Stoker-upon-Pen. The next cry is going to be that we're not profitable in Nott, so we're going to have to shut another pit down. And these are people that are saying that they care about the industry. They want to see the industry survive in one form or another. They don't give two shits about it. The men are going to be extremely bitter over this announcement. They've done every single task that British Gold put in front of them. They've climbed the highest mountains that's available in this world.
Both pits are to go into British Coal's modified review procedure, and local union leaders have no illusion.
Well, I never thought we'd see it day when we got to this amount of stupidity. I didn't. 35 million, all that restructuring what's been done to get to this. You'd think they'd let you go for the rest of reserves, wouldn't they, and just...
This area's made £24 million profit, and I've accused London at that meeting of setting it up for himself, getting shutter up profit, so when end of the restructuring's done, as they class it, restructuring, we're not profitable, it don't cost a deal, and he's setting it up for buying it his cent.
Of course he is.
The only way that they can stop that going through review is to say, well, we'll offer 7,000 quid for anybody for you not to take it through review, which then forces us into a position, or they'll believe it, well, it'll force us into a position of voting men. Every month that goes by, you lose a fifth, if you like, of that money.
I don't think we can make a decision on it until after tomorrow's meeting.
Advice, can't you?
You've got to see what date British Coal's going to put that 7,000 on. And I'll tell you something in my thinking now, they're going to put immediate seizure of production, probably tomorrow, and they'll put a date on for probably a week of Friday for that 7 grand for us to get a decision. Because that's what sort of people they are.
I think that's all happening.
I'll bet you diamonds
Just to get us out on it, Neil.
That's right, David.
I'll bet you diamonds
They
on
know
it.
that if we were determined to take them through review, that they're going to lose.
Right then. Hi.
Hi.
Nick, is it? Yeah.
Nick Stevens. And just tell me your position, Nick.
General Secretary at UDM Not Section.
And how have the men taken this decision?
Well, it's been about one of the most emotional meetings I've ever been to. The men feel totally kicked in teeth. I mean, they've talked about how can you justify
All right. If you can be all right after that load of rubbish that we've just heard in there. Absolutely disgraceful.
Neil, tell us what's happened.
Well, no different to any of the others. He said he wants to close, he wants to cease development immediately and production on the 18th.
Not very good at all. Mad economics, never seen out like it in my life.
So when are they going to shut you?
18th. 18th of February. Not even allowing us to go for it. Reserves that's left, coal that's going on 88s. We are finished.
Who's wanting to do individuals, or can we just go through this as one crowd? I know you, Rob, are different. You want to do it in advance.
I'm happy to go with the crowd now.
You know John London. He's always.
I'm sorry, I don't know who you all are.
Karen Whiteman, Central Television.
Central.
Mark McCall, Trent FM.
Trent FM. Nottingham Evening Post. That's your
Cameraman.
cameraman.
Graham Hine.
Yes, I know Graham.
The infamous.
Yes. And
We're from Partners.
oh yes, Partners in Print. I don't recognise you with the hat. Okay.
Can you?
What? I mean, we're presumably on today's events and closures.
Yeah.
Okay.
First question, can you tell us why British Coal have decided to close profitable pits?
Well, at the present situation, we've got a market that is reducing in April by 10 million tonnes, from 40 million to 30 million for the electricity for the generating stations. We have to take capacity out.
Yesterday, Neil Greatrix of the UDM said that you were closing profitable pits so they could be reopened under a management buyout later, yourself included.
Well, he has said that to me. There's not a grain of truth in it as far as I'm concerned. I am not involved in management buyout at this point in time. So it's something that just doesn't apply.
How does that make you feel, though, as the man who's had to preside over the decimation of the coalfield here in the Midlands?
Badly.
British Coal has set a date for the closure of the pits at Ollerton, Annesley and Manton in Nottinghamshire. 2,000 miners will lose their jobs when coaling stops at the 3 pits on February the 18th, 2 weeks today. The face of the Notts coalfield has changed dramatically in less than 2 years. 9,500 jobs have gone since British Coal announced its review of the industry. In October 1992, there were 13 working pits in Nottinghamshire, employing a total of 12,000. By the turn of this year, only 7 pits were left, with the workforce cut by almost 2/3. When the fresh round of closures is complete, just over 2,500...
They were nearly that in Anslow Bentinck Newstead Complex when I first got on Union. Just over 4,000. It's only about 11 years ago.
Day 3 of the latest round of pit closures, and yet another group beating a path to British Coal's regional headquarters. Today it was the turn of some of the miners themselves.
I'll let him man into it.
Told their pits would shut in just 2 weeks' time.
This is my old book on Annesley, with all me. This is the old pit. We've had a continual union branch at Annesley since 1881. So we'll had 113 years of a union branch. Oh, look, Hansel looks ahead. NCB, 1978. So we're not going back too far, really. Annesley Colliery requires phase training development workers, also suitable men willing to be trained for underground employment. That's quite a rarity, isn't it, nowadays? Never to be seen again, unfortunately, now.
Now, what we've said to British Coal is that we're intent on taking them through review procedure, and it's up to them now to come back to us and tell us what their intentions are. If we'd had accepted a closure immediately yesterday, and I personally don't believe that we should accept it at any stage, but if we had it done, then the redundancy terms and the terms and conditions of leaving employment wouldn't have been as good as I believe we could get by doing what we're doing.
I'll just tell you the position I was at that meeting yesterday. If shut 3 are the most profitable pits out of them 5, I says we must be in a world that's gone bloody mad. Absolute mad. I says the men at that pit, everybody, right from lasses in canteen, right everywhere, through to Bentinck plant men, everybody, lads in control, face men, gangers, belt men, everybody, I says has been moving mountains to get this colliery. Says they've been flexible working, they've done everything. I says, and I do not accept that we can sit here now and listen to such idiot moves what you're coming out with. I'll also tell you why I'm here, and some of the lads might have told you. I presented Mr. Longden with a plate, and some of them thought I was going to smash it on his head. And he did actually move back, and he thought he was going to smash it on his head.
Yeah, that's true.
But I didn't, because I sincerely meant it. And when I said to him, I'll tell you what I said, I'm going to present this plate to you, Mr. Longden, and I want you to put it on your wall, and every day I want you to take that off, this plate, and on the back it says this is to commemorate 1.67 million tonnes turned at Annesley Bentinck in 1992-93, which generated a profit of £24.2 million. I said, and I want to look at that, turn it over and read it every day, and hold your head in shame forevermore at this day what you've done.
What's happened to the public outcry? Because when they announced 31 pits to be shut, all hell were let loose. But now they've managed to whittle us away. Ain't nobody bothered no more.
Well, what you've got to remember is, and you've got to give, as big a bastard as Heseltine is, you've got to give him credit for what he's done. Because he made the announcement, he got the whole country up in arms, 100,000 people marching to London, and our lads went on that marching orders, which folks think that we didn't. And so he left it then 6 months to let all the outcry and furore die down. And you can go in any shop that you want to, and they'll turn around, you hear folks huddled in a corner saying, I don't know what mine workers are moaning about. We don't get bloody 40,000 quid. I know we really don't get me wrong on that. So you're not going to get folks to fight now. They're in exactly the same position as we are. They're in fear of losing their own jobs.
Right, gentlemen. Hold on a minute now. Hold on a minute, gentlemen, now. You've come to the crunch. It's gone a bit too far now. We might also get a decision what we're going to be doing. We're going to get a decision what we're going to do. So all them in favour of supporting Branchwaite's actions and Neil Gretrix and taking Collar into review, in favour, raise hands. I think that's unanimous, gentlemen, don't you? I don't think any in favour.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
After weeks of speculation, the miners' worst fears came true. British Coal were intent on closing the 3 pits, even though they're some of the most profitable in Nottinghamshire and didn't even appear on the original closure list of October 1992. The Coal Board admitted Ollerton, Manton and Annesley had contributed the majority of the £28 million profit made by the Midlands Group in the last year. But capacity had to be lost because of a drop in orders from 40 to 30 million tonnes from April with the power generators.
You get a nose chant. You really ain't. With the pit. Because they'll sway it. Well. I'll tell you something now, you've never seen a sense of unity in your life. At both pits. Both Ollerton and Cementing.
It's nice to be able to do something to be a good.
Well, that's what we've just been talking about, mate.
Yeah. I mean, they kicked us in teeth yesterday, but we shall bounce back again somewhere, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Have you got any jobs for it? Is any jobs going up here?
We're fighting for our own.
Yeah, everybody's fighting, aren't they?
That's how this government's getting.
Well.
Yeah.
It is. I know it's getting political, but it's political in the fact that it's them that's shoving everybody into that way.
It's going to be everybody washing the backs, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to present you with this cheque. It's from the Workforce at Annesley Benting. Proceeds from the quiz night we did in October. I know it's a bit late coming, but better late than never. And we're proud to be able to present you with it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's very kind. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Stand outside, are we?
You're 311. 42 10
Can we get up there then?
Yeah.
Hey, Fred.
What's Ollerton done, you know?
Hey?
What's Ollerton decided, you know?
No, they hadn't decided. They wanted a meeting this morning like we have.
Oh, they've not decided that,
They've not made any recommendations as what they're doing. It's up to men. Probably. I mean, Dean will tell you when he comes on stage.
Right. I just wonder why nobody's here now.
Yeah. They've had their meeting this morning. That's why we put our back now.
I told you on Saturday, I believe that we've got a good case to go through the review procedure and win it. I can't guarantee it, and I said that again on Saturday that I can't guarantee it. The fact is that there ain't been a pit go through a review procedure yet that stayed open. 3's been won, but they didn't stay open. The difference this time is that they shut in profitable pits. Payment for review period. The £7,000 on, as was on for Calverton, and they've increased it by 2,900 if we cease coaling tomorrow. If we still carry on through the review, the 2,900 is off tomorrow. If we're still in review on the 19th, 1,400 quid comes off the 7,000. It was a very bitter meeting, again, similar to the one that we had at Area. But the cat and mouse chance of shifting them any further. What we've got put up with.
Tomorrow, we've arranged ballot to go from 5 o'clock in the morning until 5 in the evening, as we normally would at pit. On the ballot paper will read, do you wish to take the pit into the colliery review procedure or take the enhanced redundancy terms? And there'll be 2 boxes on the ballot forms, and it's straightforward whichever your vote is. Basically, in a nutshell, it's as simple as this, gentlemen. It's crunch time. We either accept what British Coal's offered on now, this offer, or we go through review. What I'm saying is, at the moment, Kev, it's our choice. It's your lad's choice, all on us tomorrow. I know it's a blackmail. I don't disagree with it. To me, it's a blackmail choice.
I want to know from every one of the men on that platform what their personal recommendations is. Now, do they say, do we go into review, or are they talking defeat?
I'll tell you now, gentlemen, if we're talking, I'll tell you my personal view, and I can tell you all why in here. My personal view is I think we should go through review, and I'll tell you now. Oh, hold on, just let... All I'll say is this.
That's enough. All right, thank you. That's the answer, John. They don't want it.
If we vote to go into the review procedure, we're relying on your lads to negotiate to keep the pit open. In the last 2.5 years, you can't even negotiate to get us a pay rise. So how can we rely on you to keep the pit open?
We could, and we have been capable of negotiating a wage increase. Well, let me finish and I'll tell you. And if you'd have attended 1 or 2 at branch meetings, you'd have found out. Because British Coal have said, yes, you can have a wage increase, but you're going to agree massive changes in working practices and flexible hours for everybody that's in your union. I'll tell you what I told them to do. I told them to bollocks. But I'm not prepared to accept, on behalf of the lads that I represent, them massive changes that's going to affect their whole way of life for a measly 2 3/4% increase.
Lee Newby.
I think we better wind up because it's getting a bit heated now, isn't it? Like people starting to pick at things now. So that's it, then, gentlemen. Don't forget to check out tomorrow between 5 and 6 o'clock for result. Thank you.
Will be a bit since man. Yeah, I think so.
I'll see you. Morning. Right, then, do. Yeah. Yeah, see you then, do. Let me see you come around, Nick, please. Thank you, mate. They've Trent's phoned up. Yeah, will do, mate. Yeah. Hello, is that Gaffer? I got your pen. Right, on papers, you know, do you agree to take the colliery through the review procedure or accept the enhanced redundancy terms? Result at ballot, for the review, there was 156. To take enhanced redundancy, 457. And one spoilt paper. Yeah, looks about 3 to 1, mate. Yeah, it's 3 to 1 here. I don't know, mate. I hadn't heard note from NACODs at all. They were waiting till obviously release until they reduce their light. I think they're frightened they want 2 crucifixes going up and...
No jealous.
What they've actually done is written a manual handwritten ticket to Ilkeston and sent it on the 18th. There's no totally so busy that's got no coal. So what I would like is somebody from Sheffield to ring Ilkeston to tell them that the ticket's in the post and to get a load of coal out to this woman as a matter of urgency, and preferably today if you would. How you going on there?
I've been to see Daggy this morning. I've signed, finish, done.
You're finishing?
thought seriously about it, me and our Clay, biggest decision in my life, but for good of what's going off on that deal, I'm going out. To be honest, like, I think, in a nutshell, it keeps stuffing out to me. I think it's all on us it has, like, and I've made that break now, and I'm gonna go with something else over there.
What are you thinking of taking to?
Well, I might win, I might win education yet, something like that, and sort something down that line, or something even, counselling or wherever crops up. It certainly, wherever I go for me and Neil, this last 10 years experience, certainly like myself and yourself and people's had, will stand you in good stead for wherever you go, I reckon.
We're sorry to see you go, mate, and there's no doubt that the organisation will miss you. But you always know that if you've got any problems, you know where to come and we'll do what we can.
I'll just keep in touch with you, because it's been, it's been good with you and that for me. I don't because it's been good to meet lads at Billsoap, and I know Pete's been better to me than anybody, like, and set you up for that, but... Anyway, Neil, I'll get going, mate.
Yeah.
I'll sort that job out. See.
All the best, you.
8 weeks today. It's 16th of June, pal. So send some spare dates and we'll go and air a couple hours on that pond.
We will do.
And then, I'll keep in touch with you, mate, anyway.
I might be with you yet, mate. I might be there all spring and summer.
Well, we'll be alright. We'll sort it out. They'll get used to it. They'll be sat looking up. I hope it's Greg Wrexham Pung again walking down. Look.
Give misfits.
Let's tell them that joke about Langton then. How call you?
All the best, mate.
Right on, Neil. All the best, mate.
Again,
Thanks for all your help and that, and we'll see you about, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
That really annoys you, when you see what British Coal and this government have done to individuals. I mean, you couldn't get a more trustworthy, conscientious youth than what Pump's been, and they've broke him with what's happened with industry. And the bastards never ever ought to rule a country again on what they've done, not just to Pump, but to a lot of other mine workers in the...
Hey, we know it's the only way we can go in.